You've probably heard of the popular weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. They are so popular, in fact, I did not realize this. There have even been shortages.
Yeah, one local compounding pharmacy, the largest one in the world, has FDA approval to manufacture these drugs to navigate those shortages. So Mel Camp visited Empower Pharmacy, located in North Houston, to show us just how they're doing it.
The FDA explains on their website that when a drug is in shortage, compounding pharmacies may be able to prepare a compounded version if they meet certain requirements in the Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act. As of May 2023, Ozempic and Wegovy are both listed on the FDA's drug shortages list. And as a result, Houston-based Empower Pharmacy began offering compounded GLP-1s. So, what does this mean and what do you need to know?
The FDA realizes that drugs come on and off back order all the time. And so they've allowed compounding pharmacies and outsourcing facilities to be able to manufacture these drugs during a time of shortage to increase the supply within our country where there's no other legal avenue for patients to be able to access to the medications.
Gwen Iyer, pharmacist in charge at Empower Pharmacy, remembers a time before there was a rush on the group of drugs like Semaglutide known as GLP-1s.
Originally, these GLP-1s, really the very first one, liraglutide, when it came out when I was in school, Victoza, I think is the brand name of it. It was only for diabetes, and then they started realizing, patients were losing weight. So I remember being, a young pharmacist and, filling these for people, and they're like, oh yeah, it helps me lose weight. And I was like, wait, what? These GLP-1s help lose weight? Then fast forward to, 2020, we're really seeing this whole, Ozempic take off. And, Ozempic at the time was only indicated for type 2 diabetes.
So GLP-1s, there's a lot to learn about them.
Yeah.
But there is semaglutides, but there's also trizepatides.
Yeah, so they're kind of like cousins in the same drug category, right? So they're all GLP-1s, but it's kind of like semaglutide is one drug, tirzepatide is another. So they're actually different drugs in the same family.
Okay, so is one better than the other? They work differently?
So they work very similarly. Tirzepatide is considered stronger. It's actually a GLP-1 and a GIP as well. So a lot of the times patients will start off with semaglutide. If they find that maybe it doesn't work that well, they'll move up to tirzepatide. Or some providers just like tirzepatide and they want to start them off strong.
We've been hearing about people overdosing on GLP-1s. What do you say to this?
There's several factors that go into it. It might be, just the patient's sensitivity to the medication. They might be more sensitive to medication in general and react in a more extreme manner than, say, you or I do. The provider might not really understand, how to dose the medication, how to start the medication off. So maybe they start the patient off at too high of a dose on accident. They have to actually, take this multi-dose vial, draw it out, read, an insulin syringe with teeny tiny writing, and then they get confused on, is this units, is this milliliters? And sometimes that does lead to patients, overdosing. My biggest recommendation is if you don't know, don't inject it. Call your pharmacist, go visit your pharmacist, go visit your doctor and have them show you. Here at Empower Pharmacy, we're the largest 503A compounding facility in the nation. So I'm really proud to say that we have 30 pharmacists on staff. All they're doing is answering our patients' calls and concerns. So to have such a large team is really amazing to see as a clinician, as a pharmacist in the practice, but also just knowing that we have so many people available to help our patients.
We're all different. Some of us are more sensitive to medications and some of us less. And that's why utilizing a compounding pharmacy can bring so much value to a patient, because then that patient can get exactly the dose that they need, not the dose that's only available commercially.
Access to quality medications is something that drives Empower Pharmacy CEO Sean Nurian, who, after a serious accident while working on an oil field, learned he was lacking testosterone and would need to take supplements for the rest of his life. Providing patients with access to a drug that is in shortage is something Empower Pharmacy has been able to do in its production of GLP-1s.
We are regulated by each individual state board of pharmacy that we're shipping medications to, and we're also regulated by the FDA and DEA to ensure that we're abiding by all the safety standards and are being compliant with the rules and regulations.
access to affordable drugs is really important for a lot of people, and it's not always something that's readily available. How are compounding pharmacies making it easier for people to get the drugs that they need?
We don't have to deal with the complicated supply chain that the traditional pharmaceutical system has to deal with. With compounding pharmacies, we are the entire supply chain. There are thousands of compounding pharmacies out there, and we all have to compete with each other to be able to get access to that patient at an affordable cost. We see that we can charge a lot less than what another compounding pharmacy or even other types of entities would be charging for their medication. Well, serving others is the greatest thing that you can do in this life. And I'm just very lucky to have found an avenue where I can serve patients on a global scale, where I can not just help my local community here in Houston, but help all communities across this country and the world get access to quality, affordable medication that lets them live healthier and happier lives.
Largest compounding pharmacy in the U.S. right here. Who knew, right? By the way, you can read more about access to compounded GLP-1s online at empowerpharmacy.com.